In this problem, we're going to write an equation of a line through the given point and parallel to the given line. Now, in order to write an equation, we need two things. We need a point and we need the slope. Since we already have a point, let's look for the slope. If I find the slope of this line, it is going to be the same, the slope of this line will be the same as the slope of my new equation. And the reason why is because the lines are parallel. So let's get this equation in the form y equals mx plus b, and then we'll be able to read off directly what the slope is. So let's subtract 3x from both sides. And then, to solve for y, divide everything by 4. Now that it's in the form y equals mx plus b, we can clearly state that the slope of this line is negative 3/4. Now we're going to use the point and the slope and to find what b is. To do this, I'm again going to use that equation, y equals mx plus b. Let's plug in what we know. Here's my y value. M is negative 3/4. X is negative 20. And we're trying to figure out what b is. Now let's multiply. Whenever you multiply by this negative 20, I'm just going to write this over 1 because that's what we're doing. We're multiplying. Now since we're multiplying these two, we can simplify the diagonals. This is called cross simplification. And basically what it is you're finding any number that will divide both of those. Notice that 4 will divide itself once. 4 will also divide negative 20 5 times. And I'm going to leave that negative sign in there. So now what this boils down to is negative 3 times negative 5, since the denominators are both 1. So let's just write this out in a more clear fashion. I'll go ahead and write those 1s on the bottom just so you can see that. So again, we said that this is negative 3 times negative 5, which is going to give me a positive 15. Now we're going to subtract 15 from both sides. Notice here that we get 0 equals b. That's okay. We can have b as 0. Now let's actually write our equation. So let's first write this equation in y equals mx plus b form. This just simplifies to y equals negative 3/4 x. Okay, now the answer needs to be in ax plus by equals c form. Now notice something, that the x and the y are on one side of the equation, and also a and b are both going to be integers, meaning no fractions. So the first thing I want to do, you can do one of two things here, but what I choose to do is I'm going to first eliminate that fraction, and I'm going to do it by multiplying both sides by 4. This will completely eliminate the fraction. So whenever I multiply by 4 here, what I'm left with is 4y equals negative 3x. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3x to both sides so I can get the x and the y on the same side. So if you add 3x to both sides, we get 3x plus 4y. And since there's nothing left on the right side, we just write 0. Now we have the form ax plus by equals c, and this would be my final answer.